we are so grateful for it. To my mum and dad, I'd like to say thank you. First of all, thank you for being so patient. I've made you wait for this day for a very long time.
48 years.
But I'm not going to apologise because I have now found my soulmate for life. But thank you for everything you've done for me in my life. I thought I'd get further than this. I couldn't have asked for more loving or supportive parents, and the way that you raised me has made me the person that I am today, and I guess that is the reason that Alice has fallen for me, and so that's the best gift you could ever give me. I'd like to thank Alice's family and friends for making me feel so welcome. So just over a year ago, when you all heard that Alice was dating somebody new, some guy in his 40s, just starting to turn grey, just 2 cats, plays cricket, looks at rocks for a living and talks. There's probably a few alarm bells ringing, but honestly, yeah, you've made me all feel so welcome, and I think of you not as Alice's family and friends, but as my family and friends.
Oh. We love you, Dave.
But my biggest thank you really goes to Alice's parents and grandparents, Brian and Enid, for raising such a beautiful, loving, caring and thoughtful person in Alice. Alice desperately wanted her granddad Brian to be here today to see her get married. Unfortunately that wasn't to be, but I only knew Brian for quite a short time, but in the time that I knew him, and from everything that Alice has told me, I know what a wonderful man he was, how thoughtful and caring and loving and supportive of his family was, and for Alice in her life. The most wonderful granddad anybody could ask for. And all I can do really is promise to be just as little bit of as good a man as Brian was, and I know that if I can do that, I can give you the happy life that you deserve. To Alice's bridal party, maid of honour and bridesmaids, all 8 of you. You all look stunning. Thank you for being such amazing friends to Alice over the years. You know, to have you here on happy days like this is great, but the support and the love that you give in Alice for the days which aren't so great means so much to her. From the bits that she's told me, it sounds like you organised the most wonderful hen weekend for her. The attention to detail and the thought that went into the planning I know it means so much to Alice. She had the best weekend ever. She came back so happy and so grateful that you did that for her. So, thank you for that. To my groomsmen, Springer, Tim and Ralph, thanks for coming. Now, you 3 have been great mates to me over the years, through good times and bad, and whether you realised it or not, you've helped me through some of the less great times in my life, whether it's going for a shandy down the pub, or doing a quiz, or coming around for a curry, playing golf, or talking about some nonsense thing that happened at work 20 years ago. You might not realise it, but you know, you've been there with me through a lot of my life, and I'm really grateful for it. And today, I was so proud to be able to be stood at the front with you next to me whilst I made the most important commitment of my life. Ralph, you organised a great stag do. Honestly, it was exactly what I wanted. You hit the nail on the head. It was a brilliant weekend away with all my best mates, the right level of boozing and activities. We went on a steam train. You've been a great mate to me over the years. You've risked your cricket captaincy credentials by continuing to let me bowl on a Sunday. And all I can hope really is that by asking you to be my best man, I've brought a few more over. But finally, and most importantly, to my beautiful bride, Alice. I know it sounds like a real cliche, but when I saw you walking down the aisle today, through the tears, honestly, my heart just leapt. I couldn't believe how stunningly beautiful you were. I always think you're beautiful, but today you took my breath away. And I know that you know this, but I just want to say in front of everybody, you have made me the happiest man in the world, and I just feel so incredibly lucky and grateful that we've met each other at just the right time in both of our lives. I say that, but we've actually known each other for quite a long time, probably about a decade. So the first time I met Alice, she was actually behind the bar in the local pub, pulling me a pint, so that was a good start. If we're honest, though, back then we were both at different stages in our lives, and we were probably not much more than passing acquaintances, really, sort of friends of friends. Alice has been very polite and thoughtful, because that's what she's like. And she's told me that even back then she thought I was attractive. But honestly, I think she probably thought I was just another one of those cricket weirdos who comes in on the Sunday. Anyway, fast forward about 9 years, actually on my 42nd birthday, and I happened to come across a familiar face on a dating app. Thank God we don't have to do that anymore. And my first thought was, oh, that's Alice. I thought she'd emigrated to Australia. I have no idea where that came from. But my second thought was to take a chance and just like one of her profile pictures. And I've thought back to that moment a few times, and it seems incredible that such a small, seemingly insignificant thing to do, just a tap on my phone, could kickstart a chain reaction of events that has been absolutely life-changing, and has led me to being stood here with the love of my life and my soulmate and my wife. It wasn't completely plain sailing those first few days, I have to say. To be fair to Alice, she got back to me really quickly, and we shared a few messages, and I used all my chat and all of my wit and all of my time. And I thought things were going great, and then she left me hanging for 24 hours. So I tried again, and then she left me hanging for 24 hours again. And then fortunately, a combination of red wine at Le Clos and some encouragement from our mutual friend and geophysicist Heather. Persuaded Alice to suggest we go for a drink at the George. Obviously I accepted, I was over the moon. But the question was, where should we go? She's already said the George, because I've ruined my speech a bit there. But anyway, Alice had it covered. She said, well, why don't we go to the George? Because that way nobody will see us together. I wasn't quite sure how to take that. But I shrugged it off, because, you know, I was just happy I had a day. Anyway, Alice gave me her mobile number, so we could carry on chatting and organise things for the next day. She gave me the wrong number. But anyway, I was persistent, and I'm clearly not very good at taking hints. And so the next night we did, in fact, go for some drinks at the George. And this sounds like another cliche, but from the moment that we sat down there in front of the fire and had a few drinks and started to get to know each other, everything just felt so incredibly right. Alice is great in social situations. She's the best wedding guest you'll ever have. She'll talk to anybody and she'll be the life and soul. I'm not quite the same. I'm a bit socially awkward. I get a bit nervous and a bit shy sometimes. But that night in the George, I didn't feel that way at all. I just felt at ease. I felt really happy. I was intrigued, and most of all, I was excited to be getting to know this beautiful girl. And from that moment on, you could describe our relationship as a bit of a whirlwind, perhaps. So, within a month, I had invited Alice away to meet my entire family on a trip to the Lake District for my Aunt Pauline's birthday. That sounds quite daunting, to meet my entire family, but to put it into context, my entire family is sitting within a 5-yard radius. And I had no doubt whatsoever that they would warm to Alice immediately, and of course I was right. I think my Auntie Arlene said that she knew that Alice was going to fit right in when, shortly after arriving, she offered to pour everyone a second glass of wine. And from that moment on, we had a wonderful week. By the autumn of last year, we had been on several amazing holidays. We'd had a wonderful summer together. We got engaged. We had both put our houses up for sale, and we were in the process of buying our home together. We were planning this wedding. And yeah, Alice had become a more popular member of the Astons Cricket Club. I'm fine with that. So from the outside looking in, it probably does seem like it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but to us it doesn't feel that way, because from that moment we sat down in the George, everything has just been so right and so perfect. So, everything has just felt right. Alice, I love you with all of my heart. You've made me the happiest man in the world. This last year has been the best year of my life, absolutely. But it's only the start, because we're about to start a new chapter, and I know that we are going to have the most wonderful, happy, joyful, loving life together. Because with you by my side, my soulmate, I know we can do anything. I love you.